Hi everyone, this is Alex Mercado Design coming in with a short video showing my experience with ISKN REPAPER X-LITE pencil and paper graphics tablet with 8,192 pressure levels I purchased off of Amazon. Currently, at the time of this video, it's about $105.79, down from $129. So as you can see, if you watch any other tutorial videos or just videos that are showing what this program does, it's essentially just a tablet and you can place a piece of paper on it. It comes with some clips to hold a piece of paper on, and it comes with circular rings, actually one, and you can put it over any pencils that you use to actually physically draw on the paper. And it also comes with like a tablet pen, and I used the pencil. I'm actually a much better draftsman on paper. I've been doing digitally a lot more. I don't find it as easy to do as I do obviously on physical paper. I do enjoy drawing on my iPad if I'm using programs, dead programs like Made with Mischief, which I think is probably personally my favorite pressure pointed drawing system. So with this, the idea that you can physically draw on a piece of paper, if that's actually your most complementary to your actual work, as opposed to finding it sort of hard drawing digitally, say on a Wacom tablet or any sort of digital tablet. I have a Wacom, but I also have an iPad. I think the feel of paper, you need it. I have one for my iPad, but I don't have one for my Wacom, which is a 13-inch Wacom drawing pad, but I do a lot of my work on that. And I find that the paper feel, I have one of that I use on the iPad, makes it much easier on my pen, my tablet pen. And this cuts the middleman out, and you're physically drawing on paper, and the tablet picks up the pressure points that you put on the piece of paper, and it reads it into the computer. It reads it. There's two versions. There's the shorter general version of the ISKN where you can, which is more expensive, you can draw on it even without it being plugged into your system, and it'll remember it. I don't know how it does that. I assume it's got a memory in there, and then you can just plug it into your system and it'll, suck that information out and take the drawing in. And with this one, it doesn't have that, so you have to have it connected to your computer. So that's why this is the cheaper version. It's the light version. But I find myself really, whenever I do draw physical, I like to get into the minutia. I like really detailed sort of sketch work, and I like cross-hatching a lot. I guess maybe hatching, not really cross-hatching. And I found that when I did it here, while it did a pretty good facsimile of what I physically drew, and I don't have any sort of physical pages to show you to compare to these images here, but I think it does an okay job, but I want like 100% phenomenal job, and the computer is not that fast, or the tablet is not that fast to pick up sort of my sketch work. Not to say that I'm any sort of maestro or something like that with it, but I like the way that my drawing looks, and if it's not going to look like how I draw it, I might as well not use this. So I ended up actually returning the ISKN, but it might be good for people that sort of want not too complicated drawings on their computer. Maybe it's because I draw too fast, or maybe it's because it just doesn't have the memory to pick up those small, it doesn't have the bytes to sort of show the really, really small line work in a drawing. That's why I think if you can find Made with Mischief, and you can find it out there, and you use a tablet, like digital tablet, it's for me still the best. Maybe it might be equivalent to a Photoshop, but I don't have Photoshop. I have Clip Studio, but I barely have begun using that, as in for sketching on a digital tablet. But the Made with Mischief is like unbeatable. But unfortunately, the Made with Mischief that I have right now is like screwing up, and the point where your pen should reach the screen goes off all around, and I don't know if that's just the program itself being destroyed or whatever, was corrupted or whatever. But originally, when I used to draw it Made with Mischief, it's just fantastic. And when I draw with pencil using Medibang, that's a great one too. So that's really good using that equipment. But with this, since it's not completely capturing my art 100%, and it's capturing it about 95%, which is not bad. Like I told my friend, he does this sort of really cool, complicated line work, but it's not like hatching or complicated sketching or anything like that. But it's a really interesting sort of design with shapes and stuff like that. And I think that would be perfect for his kind of art. And I think it's fine for me, but and because I prefer how the pencil looks digitally as opposed to ink, because you lose something in between that unless you ink over the pencil work digitally. But when I jumped to using, see, there's some options here, like the first round you have these pencils that I'm using. They give you a couple of options inside the actual repaper. As you can see, the ISKN drawing program itself, it's called what is it called? It's called Repaper Studio, and you can use the ISKN repaper with other programs, but you can't use it by drawing on the paper. You can only use it as a tablet with that, which I think completely kills it. Because if I were and unless I'm completely wrong about this, and I returned it by fault, if I was able to draw from pencil to paper and it read it through with like Medibang or Made with Mischief or even Clip Studio, then I probably would find it a better experience. But when I drew on the actual Repaper Studio itself, like if you look at the pen work, I just could not stand how the pen work looked in here. I think I'm good with pen also digitally, especially with Medibang and stuff like that, but they have very stylized brushes and you're only limited to about like one ink brush here using Repaper itself, and it looks sort of like an MS-DOS video game. It just looks like really the lines are completely straight, and even if you drew it curved, it looks like something out of a Nintendo game. Like if you're looking at an old screenshot of a scene in between the stages, and I don't know, and that really turned me off. The pencils are okay. I think I had a problem when I looked at them on my monitor on my computer, and I was like, oh, I can't stand it when I turned it into a JPEG. But then I would like see it on screen as a drawing, but then when I see it on my phone or something else, it looked okay as a JPEG, but on the system itself, so it might be my computer's, how it looks on my computer and all that stuff, but I just could, it just wasn't for me. But as you can see, I mean, it picks up about 95% of the pencil work if you're drawing with the pencil. With the pen, I'm not a fan of it at all, so that's why I didn't bother. What I could do is obviously draw it in pencil and essentially just use the ink from Medibang or any other program, but I'm lazy. When I want to draw something with paper and pencil, or you know, draw it on the physical piece of paper, which the ring does, it's like it's picking it up when you have it like basically on the head of the pencil. It's picking up that movement, and that's what it's doing, and then the pressure of the tablet is reading that, and which I think is fantastic. But for myself, I just did not like the aesthetic of the look, so I might as well just for now keep staying with my tablets, my Wacom, you know, digital tablet where I can actually see the screen and draw on the screen, because it took me a long time to draw with my regular old Wacom tablet where I couldn't see where, and I had to look at the screen, and it drove me nuts. But I would stick with my iPad now if I want to do my sort of more technical and solid artwork. So this is not a complete like, oh, don't get this, but I think if you can see how this art looks, I think the pencil work is much better than how the pen stuff was, because they have like I guess it's a deal with Faber-Castell, but for me it just didn't work. And I like Faber-Castell pens, but this is like a digital equivalent, so it's up to you. It's not a total negation of this device, but you know, keep studying up on this program. If you like doing sort of clear, clean work, this is probably the best for you. If you want to follow my work, follow me at Alex Mercado Design on Instagram. On Twitter, you can find me at Drawing Doom, DrawingDoom. Thanks a lot.